Spurs Bros, welcome into episode 35. We've got some things to talk about. Will the Spurs trade for Cooper Flag? The answer is probably no, but if there's anybody that's crazy enough to pitch that idea to, the man's name is Nico Harrison. We're going to talk about that a little bit, some crazy ideas being thrown out, other trades that are going on, a little bit more realistic. We want to walk through with you guys, get your opinions on it. We're going to let you know what we think. We're down Stuart, Duke shirt, Lynch this week. So it's just Alec and I holding down the fort as we approach the draft. Some other prospects like Noah Senge are making some noise in the German playoffs, trying to look at him a little bit more detail. Trey Murphy is another name that's been thrown around a lot more. Is he injury prone? Is he a good fit for the Spurs? You know how I feel about that. Yes, he is, but Alex got some other things to say. And then at the end there, has Wemby grown? The man is looking extra tall these days, and what impact does that have on the longevity potential of his career with the Spurs and how that shapes what our attitude should be in this draft and the next few years? Let us know in the comments what we missed, what we got right, what we got wrong. We love the support and the engagement we've been getting over the past few weeks. We want to keep that up as we approach draft night, 3 weeks away from today. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please tell a friend. Episode 35 is coming at you right now.
Spurs Bros! Welcome to episode number 35, the Danny Ferry episode of the Spurs Bros podcast. If you can see Reagan's screen right now, he's actually got something really cool. Look at that. That's vintage, my friend.
This is one of the ones that did not make the wall. It's got some tears in it. But yeah, the old Danny Ferry poster out of the Express News, 2002. Didn't make the wall, obviously, but
that's vintage, bro. That's vintage.
I had to pull it out. Yeah,
Let's
man,
go.
That's original. Danny Ferry, another guy that got a ring in the Spurs. Fun fact: did you know that Danny Ferry played a full decade in Cleveland before joining the Spurs? I did not. I didn't realize he had that many years under his belt before joining us.
Same. I actually didn't know he spent that many years in the league. I guess I did. But no, I had no idea. That's crazy.
He was older with us, but like a 10-year run in Cleveland, that man's probably like very well known out there.
Let's go, man.
He knew where he had to go to come get a ring.
Oh yeah. Come down to SA with Timmy D and Tony. And was Monty on our team at that point? Yeah, he was on our team.
Yeah, because it was the 03. It was the 03 squad. Yeah.
Nice. Boys, Spurs Bros. Well, boy, I guess we're down someone tonight. We're down a soldier. Stuart is not with us. Duke shirt.
Duke shirt Lynch. Out sick.
Is out sick tonight. We'll see him back next week. So if that's the reason you're tuning in to hate on him, just hate on us this week. That'd be great. We've got a few things to talk about. We're going to keep the conversation going. We're going to keep it lively. Spurs, Twitter, and the fan base, and actually our comment section, they continue to do a really good job of like just pulling in trade ideas, free agency signings, just being really creative with it. I really like all these ideas. And so I would want to keep going through them as we approach the draft and as we approach free agency. And I want the Spurs Bros listeners, our community, to keep on letting us know what you think. I want to know if you hate our takes or if you love them and for what reasons. Why? Please give us a why. But first, some good news. We just saw on Twitter or X that I don't even know who this is. I don't know who @Vegas Insider is, but supposedly they polled all the NBA teams. And it showed that the San Antonio Spurs were, out of all the percentage of negative comments, the Spurs were the lowest in that tier, right? Out of all 30 teams for all 30 NBA fan bases, the San Antonio Spurs were the least negative to their team. I love that.
Which seems like a shocking stat. The way that Spurs Twitter has been for the last, let's call it a month. I mean, there's been you said last week, all the infighting and stuff, and like Spurs Twitter has been hating on each other for so long, but I think we can all unite around the fact that we're all hyped about the future of the Spurs. So yeah, it's basically like the percentage of comments online on socials. We had the least amount of comments, and our storied rival, the Dallas Mavericks, came in at the most negative out of any fan base, which makes a ton of sense.
Perfect.
We're looking at you, Nico Harrison. But yeah, the Mavs and the Celtics are up there at the top while we're down at the bottom chilling, being positive. So just remind yourselves, everybody, that we have a lot to be thankful and happy and excited about when it comes to our beloved Spurs.
Exactly. And Wemby had this to say. He responded to this post or X.
He did? I didn't see that.
Yeah, he did. He said, quote, when I'm in a positive comment competition and my opponent is a Spurs fan. I love it. I love it. He
So
loves the Spurs.
he
He sees.
sees what we're saying, man.
Let's
He might not
go.
respond to everything, but he sees what's going on. So
Yeah.
keep like just drop the negativity. Let's get that under 20%. We're at like 22% of the stuff that we say about there is negative. Let's get that under 22%, under 20. Let Wemby know that we have his back. Come on, y'all.
Let's go. I completely agree. You know what's interesting is that these we don't need to talk about this too much, but the Boston Celtics, I guess there are a bunch of Northerners, right? Like I'm sure the Knicks are a top
Yeah,
10 as well,
Boston,
right?
Philly,
So
yeah.
they're always going to be cranky and stuff, but I'm trying to think of like who else? Like OKC is number 13, like they're in the top half. They're in the like what do they have to be so angry about? You know what I'm saying? Like what's all the negativity about?
Yeah, I
I
mean the
wonder.
Timberwolves are third, and like they just went to back-to-back conference finals with one of the best young superstars in the league in Anthony Edwards. So I don't know what they're all pissed about. Maybe they don't want A-Rod to be their new owner, but I
Right.
don't know what's going on. And then the Grizzlies are up there. I mean, I don't
Hey,
know. Like,
hey, all I know is that if we can be grateful and show gratitude when we're literally one of the worst teams in the league past however many years,
6 years, no playoffs, second behind only what team, Alec?
the Hornets, my friend.
The Charlotte Hornets are the only team that have missed more consecutive seasons of playoffs than we have. We're in
That's
the company with the Hornets, bro, and yet we're still apparently positive. It makes no sense.
I was about to say that's really ironic that we're talking about how positive we are, and then we just brought a negative comment in. But you're right, though. That's so
Yeah.
true. That's so true. I can't believe that. All right, moving along here. Other good news to end it on a good note before we get into all the trade talk and free agency stuff is I just saw this as well. Wemby was just showed up randomly to a local San Antonio park where a little kid was playing basketball by himself. He just rolled up on the guy and just started balling with him. I guess shot some shots with him, man. Like that's hey, Wemby for the people, brother. That's so amazing to
Yeah,
see.
that's the stuff dreams are made out of, man. That kid is going to
Dude,
be a diehard Spurs fan for the rest of his life because of that day,
dude, even if he was only there for
because
two
of
minutes,
today. Yeah,
exactly. If he was only there for 2 minutes, I'm exactly right. That probably
like
solidified that guy's.
that's like the movie scene you see where like like the little kid's all dejected, like playing by himself, like whatever, basketball's whatever, and then here comes this alien Wemby to just hoop with him one on one. Like, come
Yeah,
on, dude.
exactly. Hey, kid. Yeah, yeah.
All
That's
of San
so
Antonio
cool.
wanted to be that little kid today.
Oh my gosh, I would have killed for that opportunity, dude. I would have killed for that when I was a kid. All right, so that's all enough of the good news and all the warm fuzzy onto
Get into the
the
spicy.
into the spicy. Let's go. So I want to first start off with talking about more trade ideas, and then we'll go with a little more draft stuff, and then free agency stuff, and then maybe one more little spicy topic at the end. But first, I saw this today. It said, and this is from Area 51 on
Yeah, shout out at Fiesta City Hoops.
yes.
His name. He's put out a lot of good stuff recently. He hasn't been on Twitter long, but he's coming in hot. Gone viral a few times already. So shout out him. I've talked to
I,
him a couple times.
I was going to say the same thing. Let's see here. So here's what it says. Could Cooper Flag to SA still be in play? According to at Clutch Points, it could be. ESPN's Zach Cram suggesting the following mock trade. Mavericks receive pick number 2, pick 14, 2027 first round pick via Atlanta, and a 2030 Dallas first round pick swap rights. And then the Spurs receive the first overall pick, aka Cooper Flag. That's interesting. That's interesting. I know a lot of people are gonna in the comments to be like, "Oh, shut up! That's never gonna happen." And you know what? They're probably right. They're probably right. I want to start with a little more unrealistic stuff first.
Yeah. I
What?
mean, I saw this ESPN alert come, like it hit my phone, and the
Oh,
title of it was like, why, like, here's a package that the Mavericks may not instantly hang up the phone about. And
ooh,
I cleared it. I was like, I don't even want to know what they're talking about. I don't want to get my hopes up. Like the Mavericks are not trading this away. But like if there's a like this is probably a good starting spot if they were gonna actually talk about this.
yes,
I still don't think it happens, but
nah,
I think you've got a lot more to say and like about what you think Nico Harrison should do if
yes.
this was proposed.
Yes, 100%. So here's the full 360 on this view is I think the Mavs should do it. All right. Obviously, I'm biased. I want Cooper Flag on my team, of course, of course, of course, of course. But
Alec thinks the Mavs should not draft Cooper Flag. That's your headline.
yeah, basically, yes. But here's the thing. The reason why I think that they should consider it elite or for sure do it is because they have the same problem as us, right? They have too many players clogged at the same spot that they should draft for, right? So at the number one spot, they should draft for Cooper Flag, which is a 6'9" long wing, could play a big kind of player. And for us, we should be drafting Dylan Harper because this is obviously best available at number two. That said, he's another 6'5" and a half, 6'6" combo guard where we already have De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle. Adding that third player in, everyone's talking about like that would just be kind of a clog. And if you look at the Mavericks' roster, I mean, they're big. They got Derek Lively, they got, PJ Washington, like the list goes on.
Gafford. Yeah.
Gafford, I mean, these guys, like, so the list goes on.
Anthony Davis.
Oh, yeah, Anthony Davis, who doesn't want to play
their
the five.
Front court is not where they're like, they have front court depth. They need more of a guard player to fill out their roster, just as far as like straight fit goes. Obviously, the number one pick is Cooper Flag,
sure.
But you're talking about fit.
Yes.
They have more quality front court players than they do guards.
Exactly right.
And
exactly
we're the
right.
opposite.
And we're the literal opposite. And so they need, if you think about it, they need another elite guard, and we need an elite wing. Kyrie's out until probably what do they say? January, February?
Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, he's out half the year. And so if you could have Dylan Harper plus the number 14 pick, plus the Atlanta pick, et cetera, et cetera.
And you get your swap rights back that you traded to us.
Exactly, in 2030. So like basically they're covered on all fronts. They're covered in the short term, aka an elite guard who could play alongside Anthony Davis, et cetera, et cetera. And he could contribute to winning immediately. And you have the medium term, which is like if things don't go according to plan and you trade off of Anthony Davis, whatever it is, you still get maybe a lot of assets in return, and you still get to build around Dylan Harper. Plus, you get the 14th pick. Maybe that turns into something for them. And long term, they don't have to like worry about sucking in 2030 and giving their pick up to us in that draft, right? So there's a lot of things there. So I think they should do it. But I don't think they will because I think Nico Harrison is way too gun shy to pull the trigger on something like that after he just made the quote unquote craziest trade in NBA history and he got bent over by the fans and all of the media. And so I think that like if he did that, that would just be like way too far. You know what I mean? Just because
I think you would actually have to get that security detail that they were talking about when the trade went down. Like he would actually be a wanted man if he traded away the number one pick after the Luka trade.
Yeah,
he's not making it out of the next day. Like there's no way this pick is his saving grace.
Yes,
he has to pick it. But
right,
if you're gonna, it's like, hey man, if there's somebody crazy enough to do it,
yeah, true.
Nico Harrison might be that guy.
True.
And if you can convince them, hey, you need to pick best fit, not best available. Come on, just trade back. We'll throw in some future assets for you.
Exactly.
Come on, Nico. Come on, Nico.
Yes, dude. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I think I would do it. Obviously, the Spurs would do it, and I think they should do it, but they won't. Whatever. Just wanted to get into that because I think that that's not like a nothing burger. That's not like pie in the sky. Like so. Either way, moving along again, we've got on more realistic note, Reagan, go ahead and bring this one up if you want to talk about this one if you'd like.
Yeah, so this one's from at Wembys Castle. Wembys Castle is one of the first accounts that followed us on Twitter when we started this podcast. So shout out Wembys Castle.
Let's go.
They said, give me. So they want to do a trade with the Jazz, which we kind of talked about a couple weeks ago with our trade back ideas. They're saying they would trade the Jazz the second pick, which is Dylan Harper.
Yep.
And in return, we get the fifth pick in this year's draft, Walker Kessler, and Colin Sexton on top of it. And they what sparked this is there's this clip of Colin Sexton going and diving for that loose ball in between two Clippers, go make a winning play, slams hand on the ground. It's like, man, that's a winning player. True. But they're saying, so, okay, 2 for 5, Kessler and Sexton, and then turn around and use the 14th pick for, along with some combination of Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, Malachi Branham, and Blake Wesley for Kevin Durant. So then you're throwing out a lineup of De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Harrison Barnes,
Yep.
KD, and Wemby, and then you've got whoever you're taking with the fifth pick coming off the bench. That's an intriguing lineup. I can't lie.
That
That
is.
is an intriguing lineup right there. And you maintain Keldon Johnson coming off the bench too
Yep.
in that scenario. So, I mean, that would require us to re-sign both Malachi and Blake and do a sign-in trade with both of them.
Mhm.
So it starts getting a little hairy with who you're actually talking about throwing in this deal. But as far as like value goes and stuff and getting that fifth pick, I think you're still staying in the elite tier of talent.
Yep.
You get Kessler to be our backup big. You get Colin
Yep.
Sexton, who's a hard-nosed veteran guard who's going to play his ass off every single minute. And then you get,
Oh yeah.
I mean, you get Kevin Durant for, I think that price is pretty damn good.
Interesting. I think I like that idea. Colin Sexton, I mean, I'm looking right now, he averaged 18.4 points a game this past season, 4.2 assists, shot 48%. He's 26 years old. He's, like you said, super hard-nosed defender. They call him the young bull, or he self-labels himself as the young
Yeah.
bull. I love that. So
Dude, and
that's
he
scoring
hasn't
off the
won a
bench.
ton of games in his career
No, he hasn't.
because he's been on these Jazz teams that have been stinking it up for the last several years.
The
Before that, he
Cavs.
was in Cleveland, and that was the post LeBron Cleveland and pre Donovan because he was a
Right.
part of the Donovan Mitchell trade
Right.
that sent Donovan Mitchell from Utah to Cleveland. So he hasn't won a lot of games, but he's a guy that plays his ass off. He's talented. I think he could fit into a system, play a role really, really well. Think of Alex Caruso in Oklahoma. Maybe
Mm,
not the defensive player that Alex Caruso is, but that kind of effort day in and day out. There's something there for Colin Sexton. I don't know. If you're going to trade away the two, I think that's a decent haul. I know you're not getting the all-star coming back, but the
right.
combination of Kessler, Sexton, and the fifth pick, that's something that I think you have to think about if you're Brian Wright. I'm not
Totally.
saying do it, but it's something you definitely need to think about.
Yes, because obviously that solves our backup big need, like a legit backup big who can great shot blocker without anything else, right? If you say what you will about his scoring or whatever it is,
Shot blocker in the league.
second best shot blocker in the league. I mean, I love that backing up Wemby is beautiful. Number five, you can still have the possibility of getting another bona fide scorer in someone like Trey Johnson, depending on where he falls in the draft. If not, you can go get another whoever VJ Edgecombe if you'd like. I mean, the options are kind of up in the air for us there. I love the idea actually, and then even if you don't even do the back half of that trade, which a
AD
separate
part.
trade, no, yeah, the KD part. I mean,
Yeah.
that's also pretty cool too. If you wanted to go
I
get another
think,
player, right?
dude, if
But
you can do the KD for Devin, Jeremy, Malachi, Blake, and you're not giving up any draft capital, like there's no way that the Suns do a trade for KD without any picks. But if
without
that's
picks,
the price, like you do that yesterday.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
totally. Well, according to I don't know who it was, but supposedly that they've been lowering their asking price. This is per
I heard that.
the Athletic NBA. The Phoenix Suns have been quote unquote gradually lowering their asking price for Kevin Durant. So maybe we just wait out a little bit and just see what the offering is around the league, and then we're not in a rush to go get him. But if he hasn't come off the table yet, then maybe just make an offer that's probably suitable for us to give
Yeah.
up. Wouldn't be giving up
Lowball
too
it
much.
hard and get
Yeah.
the conversation rolling a little bit. See what they'll settle for.
Yep. That's a more realistic version, and I think I like it. I'm sure again, the other side of it is like, well, why would you give up a potential all NBA guy, future all NBA guy to go get an 18 point per game score, 6'3", undersized guard and whatever, a backup
You know
big.
why? Because it's June 3rd and we gotta entertain ourselves until the draft. That's why.
That's true. That's true.
That's why. Okay.
Yeah. And we
As
get the
somebody
fifth
said,
pick.
I got in a little argument with somebody on Twitter the other day, and they were like, God forbid I have some fun on this app. And they proposed the most lopsided trade you've ever seen in your life. And I had to just say, like, they wanted to trade away multiple picks and players basically for Nikhil Alexander Walker. And I'm like, bro, he's a free agent. What are we doing here? But I get it. We all got to have fun. We all got to entertain ourselves. We got to do something to get us through these dead down weeks. So this is the stuff that's on Twitter. This is the stuff that we're talking about.
Yep, that's true. And
Let
yeah,
us live.
and here's the thing as well, is like if you take a step back and just look at this, like the fact that we're even talking about these as ideas is a good sign because it means that we have a lot of capital and a lot of options on the table for us to begin with. So like even if you don't like our ideas, just still smile at the fact that we can even have these talks. Like we're not handcuffed with like zero picks, zero
Yeah, we're not the
possibilities going forward.
Suns. We're
Yeah, we're
not the
not.
Bucks.
That's what I was trying to get, come to mind is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Bucks or the Suns, who don't have their picks for the next however many years. Yeah, I like all this. So that's great. Actually, kind of in the same vein. So say we did or didn't do something and trade the second overall pick. We kept Dylan Harper. We drafted him. And then again, we kept the 14th pick. A guy that just came up again on my feed is a guy who is projected to go around anywhere from like, I'm seeing anywhere like 8 to our range, 14, 15, which is Noah Asenge. He's the Frenchman who is playing in the German, I guess, playoffs from some German league or something.
Bundesliga?
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And he's playing. He just exploded for 22 points and 14 rebounds in game one of the German playoff semis. That's pretty damn good for an 18-year-old. He's
That's
he's
those are legit numbers
that's
in a top 5 league in the world. Yeah.
that's really legit. And again, we already know this guy's got the size. And in this clip right here, these highlight reel, I mean, like you can really, really see his game and skill set shine through. He knows how to use his frame. He's got great touch around the rim. These turnaround jump shot, little put shots, like great touch. All for being whatever 6'10" with really long
Dude,
arms.
yeah,
Good looking shot too.
speaking of the frame you're talking about, right as you brought up Noah's name, we got a comment on last week's video from our guy at Peter Antonius on YouTube. And he said, my guy in the 14th pick is Noah, highest standing reach this year or this
Ooh,
year in the draft. He's 6'9" with a 7'5" wingspan.
beautiful.
That's something that's some crazy length. Again, that's like Rashier Fleming. It's
It's
longer
literally
than Kawhi.
yeah.
That's I mean, shoot. He's gonna
He's
go get 14 rebounds and at 18 years old in a big boy league like Germany's league. That's something to look at.
Man, I see. Okay, so again, I'm liking both of those options at 14. You've got to imagine the Spurs are really thinking hard about this, like trading away 14 because of either Noah or Rashier Fleming. Both basically the same measurements, both do different things, right? Each player does. Noah's
Yeah.
more kind of like slasher and around the rim kind of guy, can get into the paint and stuff. But Rashier Fleming is I mean, looks like a great defender but also great shooter. And for being 6'9" with a 7'5" wingspan, like I don't know. I think that it's really interesting.
There's a lot to look at
There's a
that
lot to
spot.
look at. I
Like,
feel like they could add to our roster, add to our team going into this year already. That's something to think about.
yeah, that you're not having to pay, an arm and a leg for with that 14th pick. Like that's gonna slide into our roster pretty well, our cap sheet pretty well, and then you still have the mid level to go use on a guy of 14 mil, and then you can sign a couple veterans for 2-3 million a piece.
Yep.
Like financially, there's some incentive to make that pick too. So I know we keep saying we don't want two 18-year-olds to join the roster again and kind of continue to kick the can potentially, but man, some of these prospects are making it hard to not do something with that 14th pick. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about the probability? I mean, maybe this is not even like a non-question, but do you think that it's most likely that we will get to draft night and nothing will have happened? We will pick at 2 and
Ah,
14 without making any
man,
deals.
if you
And
just
then,
look at the Spurs history on draft day, like, and as far as like making those types of trades, it doesn't happen often. And you saw the patience that Brian Wright exercised when it came to the Fox trade. We're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna trade. We're not gonna trade a pick. We're gonna
right.
pick at 2. We're gonna pick at 14, and it's gonna be yay. We're happy. We have young talent. Let's keep.
We get to watch
We
two
got
guys in
Fox.
summer
Look at
league.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, woohoo!
We get to watch.
Yeah, go win a summer league championship.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I when you put it to me like and actually asked me the question based on history, we're making the pick. But I think I'm still in the camp of we can, if we get Dylan Harper at 2, or we use it to make a trade to get a superstar, you can move off of that 14th pick and get some additional assets that'll create more flexibility down the road with that superstar player, whether that's Harper or KD or Giannis. Yeah, it just makes more sense that way. But yeah, these guys like Senge and Fleming and Carter Bryant, they're making a tough case to not make the pick.
Yeah. Okay, dude. I had a thought actually that just literally just came to my mind.
Oh no.
No, 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 no. Like this is I don't even know where I'm going with this, but I just had this flash of a vision. Okay, if we pick Dylan Harper at number 2, is it reminiscent? Is it very weird? Is this like OKC 2.0 in their rebuild? KD is equivalent to Wemby. James Harden is equivalent to
Oh,
Dylan
that one,
Harper.
not current OKC, the first
The
OKC.
first OKC, Dylan Harper is equivalent to James Harden, and Stephon Castle is equivalent to Russ. Same kind of players, if you think about it. Same kind of games, low key.
Bro,
Dude,
it really
whoa.
is. And then we're just destined to hopefully make a
Flop
finals in the next 3 years and then have to
and
trade one of them
trade James
away. And
Harden, aka Dylan Harper, for
oh
dude, what's
man, if
happening?
Steph, yeah, dear
Yeah.
Lord. We could be, dude, but honestly, like that would be fun. If we could win the title, that would be fun.
Yeah,
And they were
yeah.
set up for a long time. I don't know. Ugh.
Nah,
OKC's the model now, right? But and like that pizza rolls team was some really fun basketball to watch when we were in high school. But damn, bro, what if that kind of makes sense though?
right? Like the same kind of player, if you think about it.
A
I mean,
bigger version of
obviously,
KD.
yeah, big. I mean, and Stephon Castle's, I think, a smarter player than Russ, but same kind of, like bully ball, like
Yeah,
athletic.
like super athletic, strong. Yeah,
Yeah,
gonna out hustle you. And then Dylan Harper's that like combo. Dylan Harper is not the type of scorer that Harden is coming into the league,
right,
but
right, right.
he can get to the basket with the best of them. ISO lefty. I mean, there's a lot of similarities, dude. There, you might be onto something.
Wow. I don't even know where I'm going with that. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I
Oh,
mean,
it's definitely a good thing. They went to the finals and like they're what, like year 4 or something for them. So
yeah, yeah.
year 3, yeah.
Who they lose to?
The
The
Heat,
Heat. The Heat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They
yeah,
lost to the Heat. That's right.
yeah,
And actually, we should have been there, right? Yeah, we should have been there. But
yeah. That was
we blew it.
2016
No,
when
2012.
no, not 2016. Yeah, 2012. 2012 when we lost to the Thunder. That was the year they kicked us out, right?
Yeah, we blew a 2-0 lead, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, all right. I just had that thought there. I don't even know if I want to think about that because I don't know. I don't whatever. I think we'd be better than those three, minus the James Harden part. But okay, whatever. We'll
Wemby's
go.
better than Kevin Durant.
That's what I think. A different
Oh,
player, different player, different type of player, or and mindset. Same with Russ slash with Stephon Castle. You know me and Russ. He gives me the heebie-jeebies.
yeah. See, I'm gonna give the nod to Russ on that one. Like I
Oh,
love Stephon, but Russ is an all timer, bro. Like
oh yeah,
he's
he's an all-timer.
top 75 MVP, average triple double, 4 straight seasons,
Yeah, but I know.
3 straight seasons, whatever it was. Yeah,
You
I
know,
know, I know.
you know me though. Me and my winning thing. Okay, now another thing that's been talked about, another player that's been brought up more and more in these talks around our the Spurs circles is going after Trey Murphy III as a free agent
Oh, that's a
idea.
good idea. Somebody brought that up before?
I think someone was it our podcast? I think
Oh, that was
Reagan.
us. That
Reagan.
was
I think
oh,
yeah.
that was me.
Oh,
I had two
oh.
weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did
I did
that.
say something about that.
You did.
What are
Yes.
people saying about Trey Murphy, Alec?
I don't know. They're saying a lot. Someone posted recently his 2024-2025 highlight clip.
Yeah.
The guy can go. All right. The
Yeah,
guy,
you can. That's what I was talking about, dude. It was Brett
dude,
Usher. Brett
dude.
Usher did a whole clip of him, 5 minutes of highlights.
Yeah. Okay. So that's undeniable. Okay. First off, his range. I didn't know he had that kind of range. So like
Yes, a rainbow ball.
rainbow ball and like, I mean, he's shooting like Steph range threes for the most part. Like and it's not even like
Yes.
hesitating. He's like catching and
And it's
shooting it.
it's effortless.
Effortless,
Like
dude.
I'm not saying that
That
he can
looks
shoot like
good.
Damian Lillard. Don't get me twisted, okay? Don't
No,
like
no, no, no.
take this out of context. I'm not saying he's a Damian Lillard caliber shooter. But you know how Dame kind of it's like just a little flick of the wrist, like it doesn't look like he's having to try very hard to get it up from deep. That's what it looks like to me for Trey Murphy. Like he's not like having to hoist these things and heave them up. Like it's the same exact form if it's toes on the line versus 8 feet behind the line. It looks like the same exact shot, just with some extra arc from back
Exactly.
there. But I've seen him in person a few times now. He can shoot, and he's pulling them from deep without hesitation.
Yep.
And he's
And
big,
he's
he's
big.
long. Yeah, I've been right next to him, like in the stands, like after games and stuff.
Wow.
He's huge and he's long.
Long
Yeah,
arms.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's athletic too, man, for being 6'8" or whatever with long arms. Like he can bounce too. Like he
he'll
got a
put
lot
people
of
in the basket for sure.
yes, yes, for sure. Averaged 21.2 points per game this season. And so this is what I wanted to kind of talk about with this is I knew he had a little bit of injuries, but I looked it up and I looked for the past 2 seasons. He did have some nagging injuries here or there. And so I know Stuart, I wish Stuart was here to kind of bounce off of us because I think we're on the same in the same camp, but I think Stuart's in the other, which is the question is he injury prone? Right? The past 2 seasons, the 2024 season, 2025 season, he played 57 games. The year before that, he played 53 games. In the 2023 season, he was out the first 20 or so games with a meniscus tear. And I think this year was a few different things. It was like a hamstring strain. He had some ankle issues, and then he
Shoulder
was
issues.
sidelined for the rest of the season in March with a shoulder. He dislocated his shoulder, and then also I think he had like a partially torn labrum and something else, rotator cuff. And so that ended his season. And so the question is he injury prone? Like, can we, rely on him?
So, and
And
a lot of people are going to say yes, but my answer to is, and I know all the injuries you just listed out, but my answer to that question is no, he's not. He just plays in New Orleans. That place is cursed, bro. Like if you look, their over under for the past season was 45 and a half wins. But then DeJounte Murray gets hurt in his like debut game.
true.
I mean, Zion, we all know his injury history. Alvarado missed games. Missy missed games.
Yep.
Herb Jones missed games. Murphy missed games. They had more people out. The lineups they were throwing out in like January and February, dude, it was like straight G League rosters. It was great. Two-way G League players was making up their starting five. I went to a game in Dallas. The Pelicans were there. Half their roster, I had no idea who these players even were. And I went with Pelicans fans. They didn't know who the guys were either. There's something in the water down there. Derek Carr just had to retire from his shoulder injury at 33 years old playing in New Orleans. There's something in the water in New Orleans. You get Trey Murphy out of New Orleans, get him to San Antonio, put him on the Riverwalk, give him an enchilada or two, beef him up a little bit. He'll be just fine. I'm telling you, he's good. This is probably the most injured he's going to be in his entire career. He's still young as hell. He's made of rubber.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be surprised if once the Pelicans realized that their season was kind of blown by the amount of injuries that they were dealing with. I said, "Hey Trey, is that shoulder injury is probably bugging you, huh?" He might have been saying, "No, I'm feeling pretty good." They're probably saying, "No, no, no, that shoulder injury is bugging you pretty bad, isn't it? You should probably rest for the last month of the season. Don't risk anything." So they could try to move up in the draft, and they ended up with the seventh pick. But wouldn't surprise me if that's kind of what went into play there.
Hey,
So I think he's fine. I think he's good, solid. I'm not worried about it. He got his injuries out of the way. He's about to be an Iron Man.
well, I hope so. And I tend to agree with you because there is already evidence that he can be healthy. In the 2022-2023 season, he played 79 games out of 82, which is great. First season, he played
Fantastic.
62, which is, that's fine. It's better. It's obviously that he would qualify for the awards there. But yeah,
Well,
that
no, 65 is the
oh,
awards, so he'd be
65.
just shy.
Oops,
Yeah,
never mind.
but
Never mind. But still, 79 games played in his second season. That's pretty good. I'll take that. And you know what? I'm all about superstitions. So yes, I do I do follow that as well. The New Orleans curse
yeah,
or
there's
whatever it
there's
is.
some voodoo down there that's going
Something's
on,
going
something in the
on, bro.
water. Not
Yeah,
not a
man.
good spot to be.
Yeah, something
So
about
I
it.
think he's fine. Nothing to worry about. Let's make a trade. Let's go get him. Save
Okay.
him.
All right. Heck it. Let's do it.
Speaking about massive players and wingspan and being super tall and long and everything, did did Wemby grow?
Question mark.
There's stuff going on. Like people are looking at him in pictures and stuff. I know, like it probably started
Yes.
with the rookie of the year photo.
Yes.
when he looked like he was 9 feet tall compared to Tim and the Admiral and Steph. But did he grow, Alec? Do you think he's grown
All right.
at age
I
21?
I think there's a decent chance he did, but not by, well, yeah, I think he did. Let's just say that. So at first I thought, okay, Tim Duncan maybe shrunk a little bit. Like I think maybe David Robinson shrunk a little bit, like just from getting older or whatever. And then Stephon Castle, whatever, 6'6" with the you got the big hair
With
too.
the
So
big old hair
yeah,
made it look different. Yeah.
right. So either way, I didn't put much thought into that photo op that they did with Stephon Castle after he won Rookie of the Year. But yeah, then you've had this guy on YouTube who did a whole video about it. He's very popular, is AM Hoops and his channel, and he literally did a whole 8 to 10, 12-minute breakdown of
Yeah.
this whole thing. And he was showing like our team photo at the very end of the year, 2024, 25
Yeah.
season, him sitting up right next to his other Frenchman, big guy who's in this draft, the Stanford big guy, Maxime Renaud. He was supposed to be 7'1", I believe, at least. And they're standing next to each other, and it's like the guy's up to his nose, like up to Wemby's nose. Like he's got like at least 4 or 5 inches on him, whatever it is. Just things like that. And it's like, okay, there's something else going on here. If so,
Yeah.
does that worry us? Like I now we're reaching. People could say on here, "Oh my gosh, you're reaching. You dug deep in the barrel to get some content here." But I'm actually, this is a real point. If you really break it down, are the Spurs worried about it? Low key. If he has grown, and are they protecting him for the reasons that this guy on this AM Hoops channel said, which is, are the Spurs keeping his height at 7'3" or 7'3.5", even though Giannis is like, bro, the guy is not 7'3". He's at least 7'5", 7'6", whatever it is.
I mean, it's like
Are
what
they?
KD's done his whole career, like saying
Yeah,
that he's 6'9". That man's 7 foot.
right. So are the Spurs keeping this under wraps for a reason, which would be like, hey, if the media got a hold of this and they understood what's actually happening here, like the guy is still growing, which means he's much more likely to not have longevity in his career, right? He's much more likely to have an outcome like a Yao Ming had or whoever else,
Dude,
Ralph
yeah.
Sampson, or
The
I don't know.
when you get over 7'4", 7'5", the names that come up, Manute Bol,
Hmm.
Yao Ming, Sean Bradley, who's now in a wheelchair, I'm pretty sure, Chuck Nevitt, Pavel Pazolskin, Slavko Vranez, like there's not a lot of names that are coming out of here. It's like, oh yeah, he was, Iron Man, Taco Fall. Like these guys have issues, man.
Hmm.
It's tough to be that long as
Yes.
a human being and play basketball where you're slamming your knees every day. Mark Eaton, Rick Smits, Ralph Sampson, Bo, like it's tough once you get 7'5" plus.
It really, really is. And I know that we believe this in our heart of hearts that like why we're so grateful for Wemby is that he is a one of zero player. Like he's not even a 1-of-1. He's guys like a 1-of-0 player. Like he does things that nobody else even thought could be possible. And one of those things is how he takes care of his body, and how he prepares the money, the time, the attention, the team that he has around this issue, right? Knowing that this could be a possibility. And so at the end of the day, I feel fine about it. But why I think that this is not just like reaching for content here and that this could actually be a thing is it actually changes. If the Spurs actually think that this could be a problem going down the line, then you might start to see us make, you know, shorter term deals versus this longer term, horizon of like,
But to push
oh,
more of those chips in now, yeah.
yes, just to cash in now because we don't know what the future looks like for Wemby's career and his health and longevity. So like
Yeah,
it has real
I'm with you.
ramifications.
Like
Yeah.
he takes care of his body and preps the way that I don't think anybody his size ever has. We've seen him walking around barefoot on the court before games and his warm-ups and warming up his fingers and his toes and his legs and doing all the flexibility and stretching and everything that guys like him just haven't had the resources, technology, knowledge to do in the past. So I err on the side of he takes care of himself better than anybody his size ever has. We said it when we were going to draft him. Like, yes, we know he's huge, but we're going to lean on him being a different kind of person and having a different kind of mindset and approach to avoid that kind of thing until, he's been in the league 10 plus years. But if you're the Spurs, like you're saying, and you're gonna, as a backup insurance mindset, you're gonna say, okay, if Wemby's got an 8-year career ahead of him, a la Yao Ming, then we've got 6 more seasons to do as much as we possibly can to maximize his value. And yeah, so I think you might see a couple more chips get pushed in a little bit more aggressively than the Spurs historically have pushed those chips into the pot.
Right. And then just figure it out later if he does turn out to be,
Figure it
healthy.
out later, bro.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
But
Because
that's another big reason why we make the pick at 2 and select Dylan Harper and figure it out on the back end, because you want the best available player, not the best fit. You want to end up with LaMelo Ball, not James Wiseman. You want to end up with Luka Doncic and not Trey Young. You want to end up with Dylan Harper and not fill in the blank,
right.
because Dylan Harper is the consensus number 2 prospect available. So maybe that's just another reason why we got to go select the potential second cornerstone.
Sure. Yeah. Dude. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, it all makes sense and it deserves real attention.
It does.
Yeah. So just a thought. That's a great thought at the end that you put on there, Reagan, to kind of like send us off there. Another reason why we could go, or we probably will go get number 2, just to have that extra piece. I mean, Stephon Castle could also be that, right? But we'll see how he progresses. And then you got him and Harper. That'd be awesome.
I think Stephon Castle in this year's draft would probably be like, projected like 7 to 9 range, if I had to guess. Like, and he went 4 in his year. Like, I think there's that much top loaded talent in this 25 class that it's just a different kind of level that we're talking about as far as the prospects that are going to be entering the league right now all at once. And this, I don't think San Antonio wants to miss out on that. At the end of the day, Jonathan Givony's reporting from the day after the lottery that he's 99% sure the Spurs are going to make the pick. I think that holds true. That percentage is probably lower now because you hear Dylan Harper's going to go work out in Milwaukee, but hey, I think at the end of the day, the Spurs aren't going to mess around with it. They're going to take the Spurs approach. They're going to make the pick.
Yep, I agree. And at the end of all this, I want to say and just reassure, tie a little bow on it, that like I'm sure I know the Spurs will always see Wemby as number 1 option here, medium term, long term, like all in on him. We love him. He's could be top, whatever, greatest of all time in that kind of conversation, that tier. So like, this is just like backup, but it's like we said, just something to think about here, just in case. But man, Reagan, do you have anything else?
Not really, man. We got so the draft is today's June 3rd. The draft is 3 weeks from tomorrow, Wednesday the 25th, I believe that is. Yeah, Wednesday the 25th. So we've got a couple more weeks of just trying to, filter out some of the noise and play with these different ideas. There's a lot of things that people want to do and think we should do, and they've heard this and they've seen that and whatever. So we're going to keep trying to wade through all the muddy waters and make some sense of all this. Keep an eye on it. We want to hear from you guys, though. If you have trade ideas, let us know. We're reading every single comment that comes through, and a lot of it's been good stuff. You're checking us. You're pointing out some ideas for us to look at as the summer, trudges on. So yeah, we're in the kind of waiting area now of just getting to that draft night 3 weeks away. So we're going to try to have fun with it in the weeks leading up to that. And then, we're going to blink and it's going to be free agency right after the draft. So stick with us here. We're going to keep putting stuff out every single week. From the Spurs Bros, go Spurs, go.